I took a month and 1 day off of work, and right now I'm sort of in the Monterey, Salinas area, but I've always been interested in going to Oregon. I like nature a lot, and I like trees, and that's what Oregon seems to be like. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be taking a road trip and visiting Oregon for as long as I feel like, and I'm going to be taking my Tesla there. I just picked it up in 2024, and it's the Model 3 Performance. So pretty much the normal Model 3, but with some extra goodies with it. But right now we got the FSD going. I just left my home base and I got the car packed up, so that's my backpacking rig. I got a little DJI drone the other day, so I'll be able to do some drone shots hopefully. And then I have the Lost Horizons mattress that I picked up about a month or two ago, planning for this trip. It's a memory foam and inflatable mattress all in one, so and it's specially designed for this car, so you just fold the seats down in the back, and then I could lay out my bed there, and it should be a pretty comfortable way to be camping and living out of my car. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to do this for, but I'm hoping that I could do it for a week or two. I'm shooting for like 2 weeks at least. We'll see what happens. Just passing the fields here with the farm workers, Salinas, right now. And I'm gonna be visiting my dad in San Francisco. It's about an hour and a half drive. And yeah. So my first stop is gonna be there, and then I'm gonna be heading over to the Redwood Forest next, and then from there just gonna be driving along the Oregon coast. I don't really have a whole lot of plans. I'm just gonna kind of take it one day at a time. We got it on chill mode, just chilling. I charged up to about 91% yesterday at the supercharger, so ready for the trip. I'm sort of a car-centered YouTube channel, and it might be a little weird to see me driving one of these cars because a lot of the people that like cars don't like electric cars. So I just kind of wanted to explain the thought process behind why I decided to get one of these instead of like something else, I guess. And yeah, so obviously as a car person, I would hate on Teslas all the time, because that's just the norm, I guess. And one day my friend decided to reach out to me. He was like, I want to test drive one and just see how it is. And then I was like, yeah, sure. So then I went with him to the test drive center, and then I drove it, and I was like, wow, this is actually a pretty nice option. Whether it's not having to have a key to enter the car, it's just on your phone, or the speed of it, the ability for it to drive itself, the build quality, like it's a well-built vehicle with no moving parts, or not too many moving parts compared to a gas-powered vehicle. So I showed you guys the STI that I was building about a year or however long ago, and I had to drive that thing like 40 minutes each way to work. And then I ended up getting a daily for that car, which was just a Hyundai Sonata hybrid. and so that got about like 50 miles per gallon, 40 miles per gallon. It was an older one, and I could tell the engine was about to go on it, so I sold it. But if I were to drive the STI, it would get probably 20 miles per gallon, 19 miles per gallon ish. So I would have to fill it up at least like every 4 days or so, which would be like $60 to $70 each time. And over the span of, you know, a month or whatever, that adds up. It had the bigger injectors and it was all built, so it got worse mileage than a stock one probably. And then that wasn't even like the height of the build where I was gonna take it. I had a full IAG 750 with new heads and a new long block ready to go in that car, and I was paying, that was gonna be like a $20,000 build at the end of the day. And I was just like thinking about it, like these Subarus, even if you build them to take 1,000 horsepower, it's still at the core of the build, it's still a 4-cylinder made of aluminum with a small crankcase. The thing only weighs, you know, I could pick the engine block up and curl it, no problem. Like, the engine on those cars is very small, and no matter how well built they are, I just don't believe they could be like a reliable, solid, daily beater car. Like, not to mention, once you put like race parts on a car, it becomes, you add maintenance onto that, and then not only is it maintenance, but it's extra. It's not cheap maintenance. Like, you put coilovers on the car, that's gonna be another, you know, service interval. And there's just a lot of different factors you have to consider when you're building a car, and if you're willing to take that risk, that's completely fine. But that stuff adds up. You put a bigger turbo on your Subaru, that turbo's not gonna last 100,000 miles. Like, at least for me, I don't trust these aftermarket parts. Like, they'll make good power, but they're not necessarily made to last a long time. And also with that car in particular, stacking miles on it, I don't think it's an ideal car for that. You get a fucking flat tire and you suddenly have to buy 4 new tires because the all-wheel drive system has to be perfectly synced together and all. Like, there's just a lot of different things about those cars. Don't get me wrong, they're probably one of the best gas cars that you can buy, in my opinion. But for me, I just wanted something I could get in, have zero problems with, go to work, go home, not worry about maintenance. Like, this thing doesn't take, I don't need to change the oil, I don't need to do anything except, I don't even have to rotate the tires on this thing because it's a staggered setup. I just have to buy tires. That's the only maintenance on this whole fucking car. So, and then another reason, it has forged wheels from the factory, has Brembos from the factory, it has 510 horsepower from the factory with a warranty, 120,000 8-year warranty, and has upgraded suspension that has valves in the suspension to allow it to be firmer or stiff. Has ambient lighting. It just has a bunch of has 2 subwoofers from the factory. Like, it just, there's so many reasons. I couldn't, out of every car on the market, I feel like this car is like stacked with features, and then on top of it you get the $7,500 tax rebate. I got $1,000 off for the referral code, and by the time, like, basically you could get probably this car for around a similar price to a Honda Civic, but it's like 10 times better. I don't know. And then another reason I got this car is because my work charges for free, so I don't have to pay for charging my car. I've saved over $1,000 so far. I've probably saved $2,000, including like maintenance and all that stuff so far on this car, just from not having to pay to drive it, which is pretty insane. An upgrade I'm kind of interested in doing that I'm not sure about yet, because I don't have, right now I'm living in an ADU, so I don't have it's not like a house. I don't have a garage anymore like I used to, but I have a storage unit that I would like to get rid of as well. So I'm not trying to accumulate more stuff, but I'm interested in getting the standard wheels and tires that the normal Model 3 comes with, because these tires that are on this car are pretty expensive if you go buy them through Tesla, or the same type of tires and all that. So I would be interested in getting the standard wheels and tires, because they get 50 miles more range for the same charge, because they're skinnier, and they're probably more of a harder compound. That's kind of a little bit of a background on why I got this car. So I traded in the Subaru, put like 20K down on this thing, and then paid it off within under a year. So it's a pretty economical choice, even though like there's not another car on the market that can really have like this amount of performance for this cheap, and then also the reoccurring costs of ownership are pretty much zero, other than tires. Like people compare this a lot to like a BMW M3, which is if you want to get a similar spec to performance ratio, it'd be, the M3 would be around 120,000, probably maybe a little more. And then you would also be having to do that reoccurring maintenance. You're probably not doing it yourself if you have that car. And so that's gonna add up. And yeah, this thing can get beat on all day long, and I don't have to worry about it. It's just a Tesla. At the end of the day, it's just a fucking Tesla. It's nothing special. So, but yeah, that's a little bit of a yap. Quick update. We are kind of in that area. Just watching some videos. It's making the time go by pretty quickly. I also have some snacks that I was eating, some almonds. But yeah, it's pretty nice around here. It looks a little dry, and it's like 90 degrees, but I'm enjoying the views and the trees and stuff. And there's seems like there's some like gardens and stuff on the side of the highway. So this is actually a pretty smooth ride, and it's going good. So in 30 minutes we'll be at the supercharger, and I'll probably try to make up the bed a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty easy, pretty nice and easy. All right, back on the road, charged up to 90%. It didn't take too long, but I got probably because I was occupied. I don't know if I'm yelling loud enough, but I got the Horizons mattress out there in the back. I was laying down in that for like 20 minutes, just chilling. And then I went to the Safeway, and then used their restroom, and I washed my face a little bit in the sink, so feeling a little better. Not not sure, but I was looking for like the cold drink section and I couldn't find it, so I just didn't buy anything. Anyway, we got another 3 hours left on that trip and we'll get there with 20% battery. It's kind of funny to me, people always say like, oh, I could never own an EV because the range is just not there. And like, dude, I traveled across the whole state with one plug-in. Like, I don't know what more you could want. And this is not even the most economy model you can get. Like, what other 500 horsepower cars can do that? Anyways, I'm sure there's a lot of cars that can do that, but I'm just saying, like, it's not bad. But yeah, there's like no videos on YouTube to watch, so I guess I'm gonna actually have to pay it. Probably boot up some music here and chill out. Oh yeah, I also wanted to talk about the charge stats. So if you go to charging, it was $27 from going from 10% to 90%, I think it was. I feel like I'm probably getting less range with the AC on and the cooled seats on, but it's definitely hot out here, so I don't do that great in the heat like that. It could be worse, but yeah. Let's see. It says 240 miles, so I think it could be better than that, but I don't really. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I just showed you the map, and we'll get there with that battery to spare.